I know what I'm going to be doing Sunday night, along with millions of other fans. My wife and I are going to be watching the premiere of Season 5 of Game of Thrones on HBO, and the British actor Kit Harington is one of the breakout stars of the series, one of my favorite characters. He plays Jon Snow, who's passionate about defending humans from some rather unsavory characters, and Kit is here with us in Times Square this morning. Great to meet you, especially after having watched you for so many seasons. In fact, when my wife saw that you were on the show this morning, I got a text that said Jon Snow with about 75 exclamation points afterwards. So you have said that this is going to be a particularly wild season. But this is a show with a high body count, so how could this season be particularly wild?
Yeah, we have to keep upping the bar. That's the hard thing with this show. I mean, it started season 1 with a high body count, with big shocks and twists. So it's a kind of matter of how do you keep that excitement going? How do you keep people entertained by it? And it's just sort of telling a really gripping story. It's trying to be truthful to the idea that we set out at the start, that not the good people don't win, and that anyone can die at any point.
And then sometimes the bad people can become good people. I mean, it's a wild show.
And then go back to being bad people.
Exactly. It's kind of like life. Let me just point out, I'm not referring to anybody specific, I just want to be clear. Let me point out that we have a clip from this upcoming season. In this scene right here, Jon Snow tries to persuade the leader of the Free Folk to work together on against their common enemy. Take a look.
You spent your life convincing 90 clans to come together for the first time in history. Thens and Hornfoots, the Ice River clans, even the Giants. A life's work uniting them. You didn't do it for power. You didn't do it for glory. You brought them together to save them because none of them has survived the winter, not if they're north of the wall. Isn't their survival more important than your pride?
You know, as we've discussed, this is a show with an extremely high body count. How do you know from episode to episode whether you're going to survive?
Well, you see, I find that out last minute each season, you know, but I sort of read the books, so I know generally what happens. But this season I didn't, you know, as far as I'd read with the books, so I kind of, it was big new surprises came up this season.
And is it true that you actually only read the parts of the scripts that involve you so that you can maintain the element of surprise?
This year.
This year?
This year I did. So this year I don't know what happens in the rest of the season for anyone. So I don't know who's dead, who's alive. I'd stopped any other actor telling me what happened in their parts of the story. So I'm going to be watching it, you know, sort of as a fan would now this year, rather than knowing what's happening.
So Sunday night, when we all sit down to watch, you'll be doing the same thing with you know, and approaching the same level of ignorance about what's going to happen.
Yeah, I can see if I actually like the show, you know.
You want to take that back?
No.
Okay, fine. That's said with the confidence of a man who knows his character doesn't die. So let me ask you this. You made a little news recently because you complained a little bit about being described as a hunk, which from this side of the conversation seems like a high-class problem. So what is the problem with being described as a hunk?
Yeah, I did get into trouble for that. It's one of those things you sort of say something and then you didn't realise people will jump on it. So I kind of decided I'm going to be a good little hunk and shut up.
You know what? I think you're going to have a long career. A long career. Now, one other question. Is it true that it says in your contract that you can't cut your hair?
It's sort of, whenever I return to the show, it has to be that I have to return with the same appearance. So I can cut it as long as I'm back to a place, if and when I go back to the show, that I look like this. So I kind of just keep it long.
And just so we can show people at home, I believe we have a picture of you in a new film where you do have short hair. Which film is this?
This is Testament of Youth, which comes out in June over in the US, and it's about the First World War. It's a very sort of harrowing tale, and I had to wear a wig for it. Actually, it's a short wig, so that was a new experience. I haven't had short hair for a long time.
One last question from somebody on Facebook. We put out a call for questions, and one of the interesting questions we got was from Molly Bernstein. Have you kept in touch with any of the cast members that have been killed off?
We have a tradition on Thrones, Molly, that we when they're dead, we just don't talk to them anymore. Dead to us, dead to them.
It is a cold, cold world. It's interesting because, you know, your character doesn't crack a lot of jokes on the show, so it's fun to see that you are funny in person.
He's not got a lot to joke about.
No, he doesn't. No,
it's not going very well for him.
Yeah, the White Walkers don't appreciate humor. It's weird. Great to meet you.
Thank you.
Keep being a perfect little hunk. We appreciate that. I'm sure your agent appreciates it too. And we should say that Game of Thrones Season 5 starts this Sunday on HBO.